Hello all, this is Jenny Crow with another haul video for the week of September 21st, 2023. As you can see, I'm doing this video from a different corner in the man cave, geek room, whatever you want to call it. Reason being is, in addition to this stack of comic books I have to show off, I do have a wrestling figure. Well, and right here in the background we have the Wall of Valor. That is our shrine to Finn Balor, my favorite WWE wrestler of the modern era. And but it's not a Finn Balor figure, but it's still a cool wrestling figure nonetheless. But anyway, let's get right to it. No DC books this week. My local comic book shop did not get them in. Hopefully they'll show up next week. So we're going to start off with Marvel Comics. And we have The Amazing Spider-Man number 34. Legacy number 928. We got kind of a shattered glass theme going. Alright. My most anticipated book for the week is Captain America number 1, as J. Michael Straczynski returns to Marvel Comics. And I'm loving the premise of this. It takes place in modern times, but we're going to have extended flashbacks of Steve Rogers from before he became Captain America, back in the day in Brooklyn. I could do this all night. Next up, we conclude this mini-series with Cult of Carnage, Misery, issue number 5. Been pretty good so far, and we'll see where Misery goes from there. Next up, we have Guardians of the Galaxy, issue number 6, legacy number 186. Alright. Wrapping up this mini-series, we have Loki, issue number 4. Seems like a bit of a mismatch, as Loki's final enemy for this story is Bullseye, of all people. That seems like Bullseye would be way outclassed, but okay. It's been a really good book so far, and I expect good things for the conclusion. By the way, the legacy number is number 30. Then we have the penultimate chapter of Contest of Chaos with X-Men 2023 Annual number 1. And speaking of characters that at first glance you would think would be horribly mismatched in their power set, we have Cyclops versus Captain Marvel. I would think that Captain Marvel will be the worst character for Cyclops to fight, considering that her whole power set is energy absorption, energy manipulation, and Cyclops' big power is energy projection from his eyes. But I'll see. And we got the next week will be the conclusion of Contest of Chaos, be the Avengers Annual. Moving on to Image Comics, we have Hexagon Bridge, issue number 1. And I really like this cover here. I don't think a lot of people are going to pick up on what this cover is. It looks very much like the cover to a science journal. And from what I've gleaned from this book so far is that it is a science fiction story with a heavier emphasis on science, less so than the fiction. Most science fiction stories put a heavier emphasis on the fiction part of it, but I look forward to checking this out. Then we have the conclusion of this series with Nocterra, issue number 16. Really good series from Scott Snyder and Tony S. Daniel. Scott Snyder has been hitting it out of the park a lot lately, and I look forward to Tony Daniel's next project after this, Edenwood. I believe the first issue of that's supposed to come out next month. And then we have Saga, issue number 66. Not the conclusion of the series, but I believe it is the final issue that we'll be getting of this series for a while. As it is, this particular issue ran pretty late. Wrapping up the Image books, we have The Walking Dead Deluxe, issue number 71, with Coral front and center. And then we have from BattleQuest Comics, Steel Siege, issue number 3, the conclusion of this mini-series. It was really good, satisfying mech action. I was not disappointed with the mech action in this series. From Dark Horse, we have The Lonesome Hunters, The Wolf Child, issue number 3. From Dynamite, we have Gargoyles, Dark Ages, issue number 3, with a pre-robot body Coldfire right there on the cover. Cool, cool, cool. Also from Dynamite, we have Red Sonja, issue number 3. Loving this series. It feels like classic circa mid-2000s Red Sonja for me. Thanks to Walter Giovanni doing the art again. And wrapping up the comic books, we have from Zenescope, Sherlock Holmes, issue number 1. This is a one-shot. Originally, this title was solicited as Grim Fairy Tales Presents Myths and Legends Quarterly Holmes. Much shorter title. And but it's not a short book by any means because it has 72 pages of content. Yes. Alright, now for the whole reason why I switched the background for this video. I have a wrestling figure. It's been a while since I've gotten one. I have quite a few. As you can see again in this background here, on this particular part of the wall, we have nothing but Finn Balor represented, but I have a lot of other figures as well. We got Funko Pops up there above the window, and on the other side we have some Bayley posters and a bunch of other wrestling figures. But maybe in another video I'll show up a close-up of the whole thing. I'm thinking one of these days I'll do a tour of the whole man cave here. So each wall is kind of a different theme. But anyway, let's get to the wrestling figure here. And it is my first AEW action figure. I mainly watch WWE. It's the most accessible. It's the one I've been watching the longest since I was a kid. But I also watch AEW. I also watch New Japan Pro Wrestling. I watch Stardom. I do have one New Japan figure from a couple years ago. It's my Super 7 Ultimates Kazuchika Okada from New Japan Pro Wrestling. But what we're going to show off is my first AEW figure, and it's not just any old AEW figure. They've had quite a few. They're available in stores and stuff. But this one is a Ringside Collectibles exclusive, and it's a wrestler, not the greatest wrestler in the world, but he's one that's near and dear to my heart. Big part of it is because he's pretty close to being a local. I live in the Flint, Michigan area, which is only an hour away from the Detroit area. And this wrestler, indie darling, became an AEW superstar. And he's very nice, and he's very evil. It is Danhausen. I had to get this figure, or I would have been cursed. There you go. See right there. Buy the figure, or be cursed. Danhausen is very unique. He is totally a one-of-a-kind wrestler. I couldn't even describe him in 3 words or less. But not really as he thinks he's spooky. He's not really, and that's part of the gag. Very unique way of talking. The backstory for the character is he was a failed indie wrestler, Donovan Danhausen, who I guess dies and gets possessed by this demon, but this demon wants lots of money. And everything he does is towards the logic of getting all that money. He has teeth, because teeth are technically part of the human anatomy, so using a jar full of teeth to win his matches isn't actually cheating. It's great logic like that. And I love how this box opens up. So he's opening up his cape, and there's the figure right there. Got 3 different heads for Danhausen. Swappable hands. I think he has a soft goods cape. Got the hypnotic belt buckle, so that you will love Danhausen and give him all the human monies. Anyway, love it. I also have Danhausen Coffeehausen. It's made by Rootless Coffee from Flint, Michigan, and so big fan of the guy, and glad to have this figure. He does a lot of conventions, so hopefully maybe in the next couple years I'll get it signed. But anyway, guys, that is it for this video. I want to thank you for watching this video to the end. And if you want to see more, there's a video right there. There's a video right there. You can subscribe right there. I hope you have a great week. Have a great weekend. Later and